The revolt of the 1916 is a product of the multiple factors. In order to identify the main cause of it, it's crucial to consider many details that happened prior to the 1916. This essay will examine three main causes of the revolt: ethnic tensions, religion factor, and role of the World War I. World War I displayed itself as a form of the ukaz in 1916 and must be treated as short-term causes, whereas ethnic and religion division started to happen much more early and will be considered as long-term causes. Despite all these three factors are closely interconnected, ethnic tension played most significant role for the revolt, while religious factors served as a supplement and World War I was a catalyst. One of the main long-term causes of the 1916 revolt is ethnic tension between local Kazakh people and Russian peasants. Significant events that took place in the beginning of the 20th century, massive resettlement was the starting point of it. Large-scale land seizure by newcomers resulted in shortages of pasture and farming lands for Kazakh, making them poor and weaker. Loss of several thousands of desatina for pasture and having low quality of it led to increasing of enmity towards the Russian Empire and increased scope of conflicts between indigenous population and newcomers. Image of Russians from the perspective of locals is bad and aggressive. This was stated in report Переселенческое дело written by Poland, who was guided to inspect Turkestan and against process of resettlement. His claim was also supported by Baitursunov, who was one of the unofficial political representatives of Kazakh. In regular issue of Kazakh newspaper, he stated that land was stolen improperly. Moreover, Russian newcomers also had negative prejudice and behavior towards indigenous population. Captain Einmeister, officer of Turkestan that conducted investigation of the violence there, figured out that Russians looked up locals as animals and treated them accordingly, calling them dogs. In summary, mutual negative attitudes of Kazakh and Russian caused by economic and social tension led to establishment of nationalism, which was shown up during the 1916 revolt.
While talking about ethnic divisions in this steppe, the role of religion should also be pointed out. Chokan Valikhanov, a well-educated graduate of Omsk Cadet School, was deeply concerned about his nation and homeland and kept loyalty to Russian state at the same time, meaning that he had more or less objective view towards practice of Islam by Kazakhs. According to his report O Muslimanстве в степи, Islam was growing quickly in the steppe, and reflections of the religion could be noticed in many of their cultural practices, though Chokan was critical of some of them. Likewise, in his remark on the third part of the description of the Kyrgyz-Kazakh hordes by Levshin, he suggests that every Kazakh would call themselves as Muslims if they were asked what they believe in. This altogether shows the importance of Islam for Kazakh people and that the religion were a means for Kazakhs to identify themselves. However, practice of Islam of steppe inhabitants were regularly suppressed by Tsar's administration, which probably led to increase of frustration of Muslims against Russian state. Russia, who used religion as a tool to govern nomads, changed their attitudes towards the religion and decided to discourage spread of Islam and supported Orthodox missionary activities among Kazakhs. For instance, in 1877 they prohibited the use of Tatar language in official documents. And in 1881 Alexander III, far more conservative governor than his predecessors, adopted Russification policy, which was about increase of missionary votes among Kazakhs. This might have affected Muslims in the way that they felt themselves embattled and disadvantaged, which is a prerequisite for the increase of irritation against Russia and its nations. Moreover, some evidence offered by Uyama Tomohiko suggests that Islam in some regions were used as a tool to encourage Muslims to support the revolt. For instance, Saken Seyfudin, famous Kazakh writer, witnessed how mullahs propagated a pseudo-fact according to which supporting the revolt is sinless and is considered as sunnah, which is good thing in religion. On the other hand, though, some mullahs were against the revolt, along with village elders and Kazakh intellectual elites, recognizing support of Tsar's view as sunnah. Therefore, acknowledging the effect of Islam on consolidation of ethnic divisions, extent to influence of the religious tensions in this step on the revolt in 1916 is still disputable due to the lack of evidence on this fact.
Describing short-term causes of 1916 revolt, it's essential to mention the role of World War I in this historical event. World War I was a huge international warfare, and the Russian Empire held one of the main roles in it. Following its participation, to be competitive in this conflict, the Russian Empire required lots of capital, both human and material. Maintaining the availability of these resources placed a heavy burden on the people of Central Asia. According to the Cassis, population of the Kazakh steppe had to put up with the introduction of new taxes, increase of prices, and confiscation of goods, such as cotton, horses, camels, meat, and fish. As a result of these policies, the economic situation of Central Asian population became even worse, making them to suffer from the shortage of capital for basic needs. Furthermore, during the World War I, there was an acute shortage of laborers, and to overcome that obstacle, the imperial ukaz from 25 June 1916 have cancelled the exemption from military service for inarodtsi between the age of 19 and 43, calling them to serve as laborers after the front line. About 8% of the total male population of Turkestan and 25% of the steppe were to be mobilized. Stepan Petrovich Beletsky, who served as the Minister of Internal Affairs and was aware about internal issues, said that the policy will cause perturbation because inarodtsi didn't feel an attachment to the Russian Empire as to motherland. Moreover, General Governor of Turkestan Kuropatkin wrote in his diary that administration didn't provide any elucidation about the policy, causing confusions in the minds of people. Because of that, Russian population in that region instigated locals, telling them that all conscripts will be taken to the war, and hoping that in the case of rebellion they will get lands of rioters. Furthermore, Kuropatkin claims that the outcome of the ukaz were corrupt practices to get free from the mobilization. That point finds its support in the reference of head of Turkestan Security Department, Volkov, which was written before the beginning of the revolt. He stated that indigenous population is irritated because of the rumors that wealthy people can pay a fee instead of participating in conscription. In summary, by reasons of obscurity of that policy among locals, their relation towards the Russian Empire, and bribery practices from the administration, the ukaz has served as a catalyst for the 1916 revolt in Central Asia. In summary, ethnic tensions in Central Asia were the main causes of the revolt in 1916. It is the result of the intolerance among Kazakhs against Russians and back, driven by Tsar's unfair colonial policies, which in turn flowed into emergence of distinct ethnic divisions in the steppe. Short-term causes, which are World War I related policies, led to frustration between ethnicities to its culmination point and became an incentive to initiate the revolt. Other factors, such as religious, played a supplementary role for the revolt. Despite all three factors are closely interconnected, ethnic tensions played more significant role for the revolt. If the long-term explanation established a strong basis for uprising, the imperial decree about mobilization of Kazakh men for rear works served as a catalyst for the 1916 revolt in Central Asia.